Staring into the mirror and seeing your scalp become more visible than before can be a deeply unsettling experience. Each time you comb your fingers through your locks, another cluster of strands seems to come away in your hand. This isn't just in your head. Female hair loss is surging dramatically throughout the nation. Skin specialists are documenting record numbers of patients entering their clinics with noticeably thinning hair, broader part lines, and bald spots they struggle to conceal. However, there's a critical fact that the majority of women remain unaware of, something physicians in the U.S. are currently watching with great attention. The true cause could be waiting inside your fridge at this very moment. It's not necessarily heredity, the natural aging process, or even anxiety. It's an item you consume several times each week, perhaps even every day, under the impression you're selecting a nutritious option. What if you discovered that a common vegetable, likely sitting on your counter right now, possesses more protein for building hair than eggs do and can begin to restore thinning hair in methods that will truly astound you? Keep watching, because by the conclusion of this video, you will know precisely which vegetables are quietly damaging your hair follicles and which singular potent vegetable can assist in reclaiming the density and self-assurance you believed were lost for good. Let's begin. The fourth entry on our list is actually among the most problematic, and it may stun you because you've likely been informed it's superbly healthy. Spinach. That's correct, spinach. Before you decide I've gone entirely off track, allow me to clarify this in detail. Spinach includes a compound known as oxalates. When you routinely ingest large quantities of raw spinach, these oxalates latch onto minerals within your digestive tract, specifically iron and calcium, two minerals that are utterly vital for robust hair development. Women all over America, particularly those attempting to eat better, have been piling cup after cup of raw spinach into their smoothies and salads, convinced they're performing a beneficial act for their health. But here's what's occurring internally. Those oxalates are forming microscopic crystals that hinder your system from absorbing the precise nutrients your hair follicles are urgently begging for. Insufficient iron is a primary reason for hair loss among women in the United States, and paradoxically, the spinach you're consuming to boost your iron might be obstructing your body from utilizing it. Dermatologists at major American academic medical centers have observed this trend again and again. Women arrive with thinning hair, blood work reveals low iron concentrations, yet their dietary logs appear rich in iron. The issue isn't what they're consuming, but what is hindering nutrient uptake. If you are someone who drinks a green smoothie each morning loaded with raw spinach, or you consume large spinach salads daily, you must reconsider your method. The answer is not to remove spinach entirely. Lightly cooking spinach actually decomposes a substantial amount of those oxalates, rendering it far less risky and permitting your body to access the beneficial nutrients without the blocking impact. Steam your spinach for merely 2 to 3 minutes or saute it swiftly with a small dash of olive oil. This straightforward adjustment creates a huge impact. Also, if you choose to consume spinach raw, restrict it to modest portions, perhaps a small handful in a salad, and consistently combine it with foods abundant in vitamin C like bell peppers or a splash of lemon juice, which can assist in mitigating some of the absorption problems. Spacing out your spinach intake is important as well. Rather than having it each and every day, alternate it with other leafy greens during the week. The third item might astonish you even more, and it's something numerous American women eat, believing they're making a wise decision for weight control: celery. Celery has grown immensely popular, particularly with the celery juice trend that spread over the United States. Women are consuming 16 ounces of celery juice every morning on an empty stomach, convinced it will purify their systems and enhance their wellness. But here is the truth that nutritional researchers in the U.S. want you to grasp. Celery is remarkably low in protein, almost insignificant, and it's also very low in calories and fat. When you begin your day with nothing except celery juice, you are essentially operating your body on fumes. Your hair follicles are among the most rapidly multiplying cells in your entire body, and they demand considerable protein and energy to operate correctly. When you fail to provide your body with sufficient calories or protein, especially first thing in the morning as your metabolism is activating, your body shifts into preservation mode. It begins triaging resources, directing nutrients to critical organs like your heart and brain, and completely shutting off supply to non-vital functions such as hair growth. This is why women who adhere to extremely low-calorie diets or meal replacement fads frequently observe their hair thinning several months later. There is a lag between the nutritional shortfall and the visible hair loss, which is why many women fail to make the connection. If you enjoy celery, that is perfectly acceptable, but do not make it the cornerstone of your morning nutrition. Consume it as a crisp snack with some almond butter for protein and healthy fat, or incorporate it into soups and stews where it's blended with protein-rich components. Never substitute a genuine balanced breakfast with just celery juice. Your hair is literally composed of protein, a specific protein named keratin. And without sufficient protein consumption throughout the day, your body simply cannot manufacture strong, thick hair shafts. The second item is a vegetable that has become a fixture in American households, especially for those trying to increase their vegetable intake. Iceberg lettuce. Step into any restaurant across the United States, and iceberg lettuce is omnipresent. Salads, wraps, sandwiches, burger toppings. It's crunchy, it's cooling, and it seems innocuous. But here's the dilemma. Iceberg lettuce is basically water and fiber with almost no nutritional value. It contains practically no protein, minimal vitamins, and barely any minerals. When women fill up on iceberg lettuce salads, particularly as a main course, they are consuming volume without nourishment. Your stomach feels full, so you believe you've eaten properly, but your hair follicles are famished. The problem isn't that iceberg lettuce is actively damaging like the oxalates in raw spinach. The problem is displacement. Each time you select iceberg lettuce, you are missing a chance to eat something that genuinely nourishes your hair. Women often don't recognize that the quality of vegetables matters just as much as the quantity. You could consume 5 cups of iceberg lettuce and obtain less hair-supporting nutrition than you would from a single cup of a more nutrient-concentrated alternative. If you eat salads regularly and your hair is thinning, examine what's truly in that bowl. Is it primarily iceberg lettuce with perhaps a few tomato slices and cucumbers? If so, you are not feeding your follicles. The remedy is remarkably simple. Exchange iceberg lettuce for darker, more nutrient-rich greens. Romaine lettuce is an improvement, but even better are choices like red leaf lettuce, butter lettuce, or mixed spring greens. These contain notably more vitamins and minerals that promote hair health. Add some shredded purple cabbage for additional antioxidants. Toss in some bell peppers for vitamin C, and always include a protein source such as grilled chicken, chickpeas, or pumpkin seeds. Dress your salad with olive oil or an avocado-based dressing because the healthy fats assist your body in absorbing the fat-soluble vitamins that are crucial for hair growth. The number one vegetable that is acting against your hair. And this one is especially prevalent in American comfort food. White potatoes, particularly when they are fried or heavily processed, French fries, hash browns, potato chips, loaded baked potatoes with all the toppings. These are staples throughout the United States. And while an occasional portion won't ruin your hair, the manner in which most American women consume white potatoes is troublesome. Here's why. White potatoes have a very high glycemic index, meaning they cause your blood sugar to surge quickly. When your blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin to bring it back down. And frequent insulin surges can lead to inflammation throughout your body, including in your scalp. Chronic inflammation around hair follicles is one of the mechanisms behind hair thinning that U.S. dermatologists observe constantly. Additionally, when white potatoes are fried in degraded oils or loaded with cheese, sour cream, and bacon, you are adding oxidative stress to your system. Your body must labor intensively to process all of that, and once again, hair growth gets deprioritized. There's also the issue of what white potatoes are replacing in your diet. If you're filling up on fries and chips, you're probably not eating the vegetables that truly support hair health. The solution isn't to never eat potatoes again. It's about how you prepare them and how frequently you eat them. If you love potatoes, choose sweet potatoes instead when possible, as they have a lower glycemic index and considerably more vitamins. When you do eat white potatoes, prepare them in ways that reduce blood sugar impact. Boil or bake them with the skin on. Allow them to cool slightly before eating, which generates resistant starch that is gentler on your blood sugar. And always pair them with protein and healthy fat. Now, we're transitioning to the vegetables that actually promote hair growth. And I want you to listen closely because these next 5 are going to alter how you think about nourishing your hair from the inside out. Number 5 is a vegetable that is underused in American kitchens, but is absolutely fantastic for hair health. Brussels sprouts. I know. You might have unpleasant memories of overcooked, soggy Brussels sprouts from childhood, but when prepared properly, these little vegetables are phenomenal. And here's why they matter for your hair. Brussels sprouts are loaded with vitamin C, even more than oranges, ounce for ounce. Vitamin C is indispensable for collagen production, and collagen is what provides your hair with structure and strength. Without adequate vitamin C, your hair becomes fragile and breaks easily, even if it's growing from the follicle. Brussels sprouts also contain sulforaphane, a compound that helps diminish inflammation and supports detoxification pathways in your liver. Why does liver health matter for hair? Because your liver processes hormones, and hormone imbalances, particularly excess estrogen or elevated androgens, are major contributors to female hair loss in the United States. By supporting your liver's capacity to process and eliminate hormones efficiently, you're creating a better internal environment for hair growth. The practical way to add Brussels sprouts to your routine is simple. Roast them. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Celsius. Cut the Brussels sprouts in half. Toss them with a tablespoon of olive oil, a pinch of salt, and some garlic powder. Then roast for approximately 25 minutes until they're golden and crisp on the edges. They become sweet and nutty, nothing like the boiled versions you might recall. Eat them as a side dish with dinner 3 times a week. Number 4 is a vegetable that's gaining acknowledgement in U.S. health circles, and it's genuinely exciting for hair health. Broccoli. Broccoli is a nutritional powerhouse that performs multiple functions for your hair simultaneously. First, it contains a decent amount of protein for a vegetable, about 4 grams per cup of cooked broccoli. While that's not as much as animal protein, it's significant when you're building a plant-forward diet or attempting to increase your overall protein intake throughout the day. Remember, your hair is made of protein, so every bit counts. Second, broccoli is packed with B vitamins, particularly folate, which is crucial for cell division. Your hair follicles are constantly dividing and generating new cells to push hair strands up and out of your scalp. When folate levels are low, this process slows down dramatically. Many American women are walking around with suboptimal folate levels without realizing it, especially if they're not taking a quality multivitamin or eating enough folate-rich foods. Adding broccoli to your regular rotation ensures you're obtaining natural, easily absorbed folate. Third, broccoli contains something called DIM, which helps your body metabolize estrogen more effectively. Estrogen dominance is incredibly common in American women, driven by factors like stress, environmental toxins, processed foods, and hormonal birth control. When estrogen levels are out of balance, it can trigger a type of hair loss similar to pattern baldness, where the hair thins at the crown and along the part line. The key is to eat it regularly and prepare it correctly. Lightly steaming broccoli for 3 to 5 minutes preserves the most nutrients. You can also roast it like Brussels sprouts for variety. Eat broccoli at least 4 times a week, aiming for 1 to 2 cups per serving. Within a few weeks of eating broccoli regularly, many women notice their hair feels stronger and breaks less easily. Number 3 is a vegetable that's been used in traditional medicine for centuries, but modern U.S. research is now confirming what practitioners have known all along: bell peppers, particularly red bell peppers. Red bell peppers contain more vitamin C than almost any other food on the planet. 1 medium red bell pepper provides you with more than twice your daily requirement of vitamin C. Why is this so critical for hair? Vitamin C performs several essential tasks. It helps your body absorb iron from plant-based foods. It's required for collagen synthesis, and it's a powerful antioxidant that protects hair follicles from damage caused by free radicals. American women, especially those not eating enough fresh produce, often have suboptimal vitamin C levels without realizing it. You might not have scurvy, the severe deficiency disease, but you can have chronic low-level deficiency that impacts hair growth. Dermatologists have noted that women who increase their vitamin C intake often see improvements in hair thickness and reduce shedding within 2 to 3 months. Red bell peppers also contain beta-carotene, which your body converts to vitamin A, another nutrient essential for sebum production in your scalp. Sebum is the natural oil that keeps your hair moisturized and protected. The practical way to eat more red bell peppers is easier than you think. Slice them into strips and eat them raw with hummus as an afternoon snack. Dice them and add them to morning omelets. Roast them and add them to salads or grain bowls. You want to aim for at least one red bell pepper or an equivalent amount of yellow or orange peppers about 4 to 5 times a week. Number 2 is a vegetable that U.S. doctors and nutritionists are getting genuinely excited about for hair health, and it's one you've probably walked past 100 times at the grocery store without giving it a second thought. Edamame, which are young soybeans. Edamame is an absolute protein powerhouse. 1 cup of cooked edamame contains about 18 grams of complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs. This is the same quality of protein you'd get from meat or eggs, but from a plant source. For women who are vegetarian or those trying to reduce animal protein intake, or anyone who simply isn't getting enough protein throughout the day, edamame is a game changer. Research from U.S. universities has shown that many American women, particularly those over 40, are not consuming enough protein to support optimal hair growth. Edamame makes reaching that goal much easier. But protein isn't the only reason edamame is incredible for hair. It also contains isoflavones, plant compounds that have a gentle estrogen balancing effect. Studies conducted in the United States have found that women who consume soy foods regularly often have more stable hormone levels and report fewer issues with hormonally driven hair loss, particularly during perimenopause and menopause when estrogen levels fluctuate wildly. Edamame also provides iron, folate, and magnesium, 3 minerals that are frequently deficient in American women, and all 3 are essential for healthy hair follicle function. Getting edamame into your routine is incredibly simple. You can buy it frozen in most U.S. grocery stores, either in the pod or already shelled. Boil the pods in salted water for 5 minutes, drain them, sprinkle with a little sea salt, and eat them as a snack or appetizer. If you buy shelled edamame, toss it into salads, stir-fries, grain bowls, or pasta dishes. Aim for edamame 3 to 4 times a week. Now we're at number 1, the single most powerful vegetable for reversing hair loss and promoting thick, healthy hair growth. This is the vegetable that contains more usable protein than eggs, the one that U.S. doctors are recommending to their patients with thinning hair, the one that addresses multiple causes of hair loss simultaneously. Are you ready? It's spirulina. Now, technically, spirulina is a blue-green algae, but it's consumed as a vegetable product, and it's available in every health food store across the United States, usually in powder or tablet form. Let me explain why spirulina is so extraordinary for hair health. First, the protein content. Spirulina is approximately 60 to 70% protein by weight, and it's a complete protein containing all essential amino acids in optimal ratios. Gram for gram, spirulina contains more protein than any other plant source and even more bioavailable protein than eggs or beef. When we talk about building hair, which is literally constructed from protein, spirulina gives your body exactly what it needs in the most efficient form possible. But here's what makes spirulina truly special. It contains an incredibly rare nutrient called phycocyanin, which is the blue pigment that gives spirulina its distinctive color. Phycocyanin is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compound that specifically protects cells from oxidative damage. Research conducted at U.S. universities has shown that phycocyanin can reduce inflammation around hair follicles, protect the cells that produce hair from damage, and even help reverse some of the follicle miniaturization that occurs in pattern hair loss. Follicle miniaturization is the process where hair follicles gradually shrink over time, producing thinner and thinner hairs until eventually they stop producing visible hair altogether. This is the primary mechanism behind female pattern hair loss, which affects millions of American women. The fact that phycocyanin can potentially reverse this process is genuinely groundbreaking. Spirulina is also incredibly rich in iron, containing more iron per gram than spinach. And unlike spinach, it doesn't contain oxalates that block absorption. The iron in spirulina is highly bioavailable, meaning your body can actually use it efficiently. Since iron deficiency is one of the most common nutritional causes of hair loss in American women, particularly women who menstruate heavily or those who've given birth recently, spirulina addresses this root cause directly. Additionally, spirulina contains gamma-linolenic acid, an omega-6 fatty acid that has anti-inflammatory properties and supports healthy scalp function. Many women with thinning hair also have inflammation in their scalp, sometimes visible as redness, flaking, or tenderness. Dermatologists and nutritionists across the United States are increasingly recommending spirulina to women with hair loss because it addresses so many contributing factors at once. Low protein intake, inflammation, iron deficiency, oxidative stress, and nutrient gaps are all tackled by this single food. The question is, how do you actually use spirulina in a way that's sustainable and effective? Here's the practical protocol that's working for thousands of American women. Start with 1 teaspoon of spirulina powder per day for the first week. Spirulina has a strong, earthy taste that takes some getting used to, so starting small helps your palate adjust. Mix the powder into a morning smoothie with frozen berries, banana, a handful of spinach, and your choice of milk. The fruit masks the taste almost completely. After the first week, increase to 1 tablespoon, which is about 7 grams per day. This gives you roughly 4 to 5 grams of protein, plus all the other beneficial compounds. Many women split this into 2 servings, half in a morning smoothie and half mixed into a glass of juice in the afternoon. If you absolutely cannot tolerate the taste, spirulina tablets are available. You'd need to take about 10 to 15 tablets to get the equivalent of 1 teaspoon of powder, but it's a viable option. Within 2 weeks of starting spirulina, many women notice their energy levels improve noticeably. This is the iron and B vitamins going to work. Within 4 to 6 weeks, hair shedding often decreases significantly. You'll notice less hair on your pillow, in the shower drain, and in your brush. Within 3 to 4 months, new hair growth becomes visible. Look for baby hairs along your hairline and part, fine hairs that are just starting to grow in. By 6 months of consistent spirulina consumption, the majority of women report noticeably thicker, fuller hair. Make sure you're buying spirulina from a reputable source that tests for contaminants. Look for organic spirulina from brands that provide third-party testing certificates. So let's bring this all together. You now understand that some vegetables you thought were helping your hair might actually be working against you when consumed in certain ways or amounts. Raw spinach in excess, celery as a meal replacement, nutritionally empty iceberg lettuce, and high glycemic white potatoes can all undermine hair health through different mechanisms. But you also now know the vegetables that can genuinely transform your hair from the inside out. Brussels sprouts with their vitamin C and liver support. Broccoli with its protein and hormone balancing compounds. Red bell peppers with their collagen building power. Edamame with its complete protein and isoflavones, and spirulina, the ultimate hair growth vegetable that addresses virtually every nutritional factor in female hair loss. The beautiful truth is that you have incredible power over your hair health through the choices you make every single day. Not through expensive treatments or harsh chemicals, but through the simple act of choosing the right vegetables and preparing them in ways that maximize their benefits. Your hair follicles are living, responsive parts of your body. When you feed them properly, they respond. When you reduce inflammation, they thrive. When you give them protein, vitamins, minerals, and protective compounds, they do what they're designed to do, which is produce strong, healthy, beautiful hair. Start with one change this week. Maybe it's swapping your iceberg lettuce salad for a nutrient-dense option with red bell peppers and broccoli. Maybe it's adding a tablespoon of spirulina to your morning routine. Small, consistent actions compound over time into remarkable results. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, you could be running your fingers through noticeably thicker hair, seeing new growth filling in areas that had thinned, feeling the confidence that comes from knowing your hair is healthy and strong. The choice is genuinely yours. If this information helped you, please hit that like button so more women can find this video. Drop a comment below and tell me which vegetable you're going to start with. Are you Team Spirulina, ready to dive into the most powerful option? And please share your age and what state you're watching from. Share this video with anyone you know who's dealing with hair loss or who wants to keep their hair thick and healthy. This information is too important to keep to yourself. Remember, your hair is not just vanishing randomly. There are reasons and there are solutions. You've just learned both. Now it's time to take action to stay consistent and watch your hair transform.